Exodus chapter 32 verses 7 to 11 and 13 to 14. The Lord changed his mind on the punishment he had threatened to inflict on his people. The Lord said to Moses, "Go down at once to your people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt, for they have become depraved. They have soon turned aside from the way I pointed out to them, making for themselves a molten calf and worshipping it, sacrificing to it and crying out, 'This is your God, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt.' I see how stiff-necked this people is," continued the Lord to Moses. "Let me alone then, that my wrath may blaze up against them to consume them. Then I will make of you a great nation." But Moses implored the Lord his God, saying, "Why, O Lord, should your wrath blaze up against your own people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt with such great power and with so strong a hand? Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, and how you swore to them by your own self, saying, 'I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and all this land that I promised, I will give your descendants as their perpetual heritage.' So the Lord relented in the punishment he had threatened to inflict on his people. Being a mediator is a tough job. At this time Moses is the mediator between God and man. Moses and God are having a meeting on the mountain when God, who knows everything, tells Moses what the Israelites are doing while he and God are having this conversation. In essence, God tells him that they are breaking the first two commandments. If you have ever had the pleasure of raising children, you know that busy hands are happy hands, and children's attention span is as long as 20 seconds. At this point the Israelites are Moses' children in faith who have not yet developed maturity in faith. The chosen people want to worship God, but they didn't know how. When people are frustrated and confused, what do? They go back to what they have observed in the past and try to give it new meaning in the present and future. When in Egypt, the Israelites watched Egyptian idol worship. Since God was the greatest value in the universe, they made an idol out of gold, which to them was the most valuable item they had. As my mother used to say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. They had forgotten about God's law, the only law that really matters for all eternity and the law that all other laws are based upon. In essence, God says, "Remember what I did to the people of Noah's generation? Maybe it's time to begin again." Moses then attempts to mediate for the people by reminding God of his promises. Moses basically asks God to give him the honor of doing his job by bringing the people back to him. If you have ever wondered about the need for animal sacrifices, consider this. The animals the Israelites subsequently sacrificed were the same animals that the Egyptians used for idol worship. The people also stayed in the desert long enough that the Egyptian ways they brought with them died out. Moses helped the people escape the wrath of the Lord, but they didn't learn. Skipping ahead to Joshua 24 verses 15 and 16, we read, "And if you be unwilling to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Then the people answered, "Far be it from us that we should forsake the Lord, to serve other gods." As you continue to read the Bible, you discover that when the Israelites fell into idol worship, their enemies inflicted upon them God's justice. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may receive good or evil, according to what he has done in the body. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10.